The phrase, take to something like a duck to water, applies very well to the world of sports. Usually, you can quickly tell when somebody has a natural talent at a certain discipline. In endurance racing, that becomes a little bit harder. Of course, results can tell a simple story, but with car performance, co-drivers, and general racing events affecting the outcome, natural ability isn't so easy to pick out. Fortunately for us, there is a driver right now who shows off natural ability in every race they compete in. When Esteban Masson sits behind the wheel, you know immediately that the track turns into his seat. Born in Montreal, Canada, Masson ran through karting in his native France with great success. Multiple regional titles, as well as a pair of national championships, showed his early talent. But when he entered French Formula 4 for the final round of 2019, things didn't click right away. Despite out-qualifying a young Isaac Hadjar, Masson fell back in all 3 races. By his own admission, Esteban became hesitant of making the full-time step into race cars ahead of 2020. When the pandemic hit, he maturely decided to stay in karting, only returning for the final race of French F4 at Paul Ricard. A good showing there meant he was ready for a full season in 2021. Masson immediately became the class of the field in qualifying, though a strong rookie season from Matteo Cappietto set up a title decider at the season finale. At the final race, a collision with Cappietto on the last lap sent Masson off into retirement, but he still won the title as Cappietto was disqualified for causing the incident. Step 1 complete, but what about Step 2? Isaac Newton's principle of inertia states that a body will continue its motion unless it is acted upon by an opposing force. Masson would experience this law when he moved up into Formula Regional in 2022. Formula Regional is weird. Looking at the results can give you whiplash and leave you questioning the category's sporting merit. You mean to tell me that Gregoire Saucy, a driver who had never won a single-seater race before or after, dominated a grid with these drivers on it? You mean to tell me that Dino Beganovic is a far superior driver to Gabriele Mini? You mean to tell me that Dorian Pain is on par with the walking safety car that is Giovanni Mascio? Give me a break. A break is what Esteban Masson certainly would have wanted after his rookie season, as he was involved in a number of clumsy collisions, and didn't achieve much. When 2023 rolled around, Masson entered the newly created Eurocup 3 series with Campos Racing, where his talent became much more apparent. In spite of a few self-inflicted mistakes, 8 wins later, a deserving champion had been crowned. With a season like that, it would perhaps be surprising to you that Masson didn't end up progressing to Formula 3. As it turned out, defensive negotiating from Masson's agent caused Campos to pick drivers with much deeper pockets. Instead, Esteban entered the final round of the World Endurance Championship with GT team Kessel. A moderately impressive debut later, and Masson was headed towards endurance racing full-time in 2024. 2 series would house him that year: the World Championship with the Yakodis ASP team, which spent all year trying to wrap its head around the Lexus GT3 machine, and the European Le Mans series with Kessel. When writing this section, I was surprised by what I found. I knew that Masson and his teammates won 2 races and came agonizingly close to winning the title, only missing out because of team orders from the Iron Lynx organization on the last lap of the season finale. But oh boy, did Masson shine in his endurance debut. Now is perhaps a good time to explain what components make up a good endurance driver. On one hand, you have speed. Experience can bring you far, but without the talent to match, you will always be at a disadvantage. On the other hand, a strength you need in endurance racing lies in the name. Managing fuel and tyres is crucial to achieve the best result, given the importance of pit stops within the discipline. Drivers who can keep their tyres in good condition and save fuel while still going fast will allow their teams to save time during a stop. But of course, all the speed and management in the world won't help you if you end up being stuck behind a slower driver. And that's where element 3 comes in. If you cannot pass a rival, you may become frustrated and try to overtake if any gap opens up. Even if that gap exists, you might end up causing an accident and getting yourself penalized. Or worse, knowing when to make a move and executing it without incurring the wrath of your rival, the race officials, and your own car is crucial for your team's race. In his first endurance season, Masson channeled all 3. Heading into 2025, Masson joined the Toyota Racing Academy through his Lexus connection in the World Championship. He tested their hypercar at the postseason rookie test, with a clear view of joining the lineup sometime in the near future. Before he could get there, however, he would have to prove himself in the LMP2 class of the European Le Mans Series. In addition, Masson returned to single-seaters, driving in the Super Formula Light Series on the Japanese racing ladder, where despite suffering a back injury that forced him to miss the opening round, as well as being new to almost all tracks, Masson managed to score several podiums. Where Masson's star really began shining was once again in the European Championship. With 3 dominant wins from 6 races, he and teammates Charles Milesi and Ollie Gray won the LMP2 title at the final round. A particular highlight for Masson was the qualifying session at Silverstone, his first in an LMP2 car. While his more experienced teammate Milesi hadn't yet taken pole during the year, Masson went and put his Panis car first in qualifying. But this wasn't the only time Masson led the stage for Panis during the year, as his biggest contribution had already come earlier at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Without Milesi, Masson carried the team to a lead battle and looked to have won the LMP2 class when his rival had to serve a penalty. Unfortunately for Esteban, a suspension issue reared its head in the final 15 minutes, and he did very well just to finish the race in second, nursing his car home to the line. This disappointment came before Masson's victories in Europe, so it's safe to say that he bounced back just fine mentally. 2026 has seen an even better Esteban Masson. Now Panis' undisputed team leader, he has been channeling the 3 important attributes highlighted earlier in pursuit of a second title. At Barcelona, he pulled off an overtaking masterclass during the final hour to win the race. At Paul Ricard in Imola, Masson took pole position, and he would have fought for victory in the former had it not been for a technical issue. And in the Imola race, Masson gapped leader Ben Hanley despite driving on heavily worn tyres. In that race's final hour, he turned a 4-second advantage into 52 seconds within less than an hour, before going on to win again. He even qualified first at Le Mans, set the fastest lap, and helped the team to get another podium. Nothing seemingly can stop him, so the question is obvious. When is he going to get a chance in the top category of the sport? Fortunately for him, that chance might come sooner than expected. With many rumours surrounding the Toyota seats ahead of 2027, Masson might be one of the new faces to slot in at the Japanese manufacturer. Were his step up to be delayed, however, one would expect him to keep dominating the LMP2 category for the foreseeable future. Most times my videos highlight drivers that either didn't get the right opportunities to be successful or were themselves limited by their potential. But here, I implore you to celebrate excellence. The world of racing is filled by the mundane, so when a talent like this enters the room, you drop everything and marvel at their ability. They're like ducks in that sense, coasting through rough waters with an elegance that you have to see to believe.